USDA choice filet mignons, ribeyes, New York strip, and top of Iowa sirloin steaks to their Midwest pork package, which is stuffed with Iowa and American cut pork chops, their famous ham balls, and more. Ordering is easy at heartlandsteakco.com. And right now, when you spend $175 or more, you'll get 2 free 4-count steak patties with promo code PATTIES. Go and get your 8 free steak patties from heartlandsteakco.com. That's heartlandsteakco.com, promo code PATTIES. Taste the Heartland difference.
The KDUS AM 1060 app is brought to you by Law Bear Auto Accident Attorneys. Hurry to lawbear.com.
That's lawbear.com. The bear has your back.
It's the lunch break.
It is the Friday edition of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert, producer Evan, hanging out with you today here on the show. And producer Evan, dare I say it, I woke up this morning, was driving in thinking about the win-loss game, thinking about the schedule getting released, and I thought to myself, you know what today kind of feels like? You know what today has the hint of? I don't want to say it's a full-blown version of it, but you know what today feels like?
A football Friday.
Feels like a football Friday edition of the show today. Haven't had one of these in a little bit, but it feels like we're going to play the music here in a little bit. It's going to feel very NFL look-ahead like. So perhaps a mini version of a football Friday here today on the program. We will get to the Cardinals' schedule being released. We'll play the win-loss game this hour. The Cardinals have 0 primetime games. We'll get into that. And I think the other big takeaway from the schedule release yesterday, outside of how bad of a video the Cardinals ultimately had, is where will Carson Beck slot in as QB1 for the Cardinals? So we will break it down from all of those different angles here today on the show. Thank you for hanging out with us. We get started, however, with the Diamondbacks. They start a pivotal 3-game series tonight in Colorado, but more important than that, it is a pivotal stretch to this season, one that may define how fun their summer will be.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
We kind of stumbled into this at the end of the show yesterday, and I told producer Evan to file it away today here for the Friday edition of the show. And I want to start with it because we'll get to a lot of the Cardinals here today, and the schedule being out, we can dissect it a bunch. But the Diamondbacks play tonight. There's an actual game going on tonight. There's an actual series that gets started tonight for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And they start what is a very interesting set of games here over the next couple of weeks. It starts tonight with a 3-game series in Colorado. They then will come back home and welcome the Giants for 3, the Rockies again, this time for 4 at home, and then they will go out to the Bay Area to take on the San Francisco Giants for 3. So let's do some math here on a Friday. The 3 this weekend against the Rockies, the 3 against the Giants, that's 6. The 4 at home against the Rockies makes it 10, and then 3 more in San Francisco before they then go on the road. They continue their road trip, I should say, by going up to Seattle and then coming back to playing the Dodgers. So the next 13 games are being played against 2 franchises. The next 13 games for the Diamondbacks are against 2 teams that are division rivals. The next 13 games are against 2 teams that are what? 2 of the worst teams in all of baseball? The Rockies sit at 17-27 at the start of play tonight. The Giants, who are next up after this, they sit at 18-26. The Giants, a .409 winning percentage. The Rockies, a .386 winning percentage. These are the 2 teams that sit behind the Diamondbacks in the National League West. So we start this series tonight. And we start today's show with a very simple message. This is the season for the Arizona Diamondbacks. This 13-game stretch is what is going to determine if we're going to have a fun summer of talking about this team every day, if we are going to have conversations about who they can acquire at the deadline, if we are going to be at the center of the trade deadline frenzy that will happen probably starting in the next couple of weeks, if we will be talking about the Diamondbacks as buyers, it'll be the difference between that conversation and a conversation in the summertime of what they can move on from. Is there a market for Zach Gallen? Is there a market for Lourdes Gurriel? Is there a market for the expiring contracts for guys in the bullpen who've had a good season? This 13-game stretch, to me, is going to determine our summer. This team sits at 20-22 at the start of play tonight. The next 13 games are against teams that are a combined, the Giants are 8 games below 500, the Rockies 10 games below 500. The next 13 games against 2 teams that have a combined record 18 games below 500. Going 9-4, 10-3 feels like where the bar should be set. You should come out of these next 13 games well above 500. Because for all the issues the Diamondbacks have with their offense, for potentially an issue that is starting to arrive in the bullpen with Paul Sewald after his first blown save this week, a rotation that has one guy in it right now that you don't feel like you can run out there every 5 days, but you kind of have to in Zach Gallen. For all of the issues that the Diamondbacks have sitting at 20-22, what do you think the conversation is like today in San Francisco? What do you think they're talking about on Denver sports radio about the Rockies? Let me let you in on a little secret. They're not covering the Rockies. They're covering the Avs in their playoff run. They're covering the Broncos' schedule release today. They're not talking about a team that's 10 games below 500. They're not talking about a team that's in last place. Better than they were last year. Listen, this Rockies team, historically bad last year. They're better than that. They've raised the floor a little bit, but they are still one of the worst teams in all of Major League Baseball. There is zero excuse for the Diamondbacks to not take full advantage of the next 13 games being against 2 teams. The next 13 games being against teams that are well below 500. If you come out of this 13-game stretch in a similar spot, hovering around 500, even a little, to me, you have to be above 500 after this 13-game stretch. If you don't do that, how am I supposed to find the pathway for you to gain ground and get back into the wild card race? Are you going to beat the teams in the NL Central to do it? Producer Evan, check me on this. Actually, I can do it myself. Every team in the NL Central is still above 500.
Correct.
So if you want to make ground up, because let's do it this way. Right now, the Braves, they're going to win the NL East 30-14.
Yep.
The Cubs,
runaway. Congratulations to them.
The Cubs right now, they have a 2.5 game lead, but let's just say they're the Central champions. The Dodgers, half game in front of the Padres. Congratulations, you're the NL West champs. Now we need 3 wild card teams. We've got the Padres, who are sitting at 25-18. They're 1. We've got the Brewers sitting at 24-17. They're 2. You've got the Cardinals at 25-18 as well. They're in there as that 3rd team. You then have the Pirates at 24-20, and you have the Reds at 23-21 on the outside looking in. You're behind all of those teams. So you want to get back in this race? You can't lay an egg against the Giants and the Rockies. Because if you lay an egg, how are you supposed to catch the Reds? You're going to beat the Reds? You're going to beat the Pirates? You're going to beat the St. Louis Cardinals are supposed to be tanking. They're 25-18. Cardinals are not supposed to be very good. They're right now in the thick of it.
And you imagine that teams like the Cardinals and, a Padres team who you and I weren't in love with everything they did this offseason, those teams are going to play back to the mean. I think they're probably playing above who they are. I have no reason to believe that about the Brewers. You also think that, a team like the Phillies, a team like the Mets, they're going to start playing better baseball. They have got to turn that corner. You take out those massive losing streaks, you're talking about 2 teams that would be at the tops of the National League. The Reds were a playoff team. Say what you will about the Reds. They were a playoff team last year. And now we're talking about a Pittsburgh team that may have the best pitching in the National League outside of the Dodgers.
If you, over the next 13 games, get to the end of the road, get to the end of this 13-game stretch, and you're still behind all of those teams, unless it's because you go 10-3 and all those teams also go 10-3, I think you failed.
Yes.
I think you failed. If we get to the end of this stretch and you haven't passed some of these teams, like you're driving on the highway and you just hop in the HOV lane and you just cruise by these slow cars, right? If you don't take advantage of playing two of the worst teams, I mean, these are the two teams that have the worst winning percentages in the National League. The two worst, the bottom two teams, teams 15 and 14 in the National League. That's the next 13 games for you. I'm sorry, 9-4 is the bare minimum they have to go.
Yes.
They have to overwhelm. You've got, 4 games at home against the Rockies? You got to win 3 or 4, maybe even sweep that series. You have to absolutely dominate this stretch, or else there's nothing that we're going to be able to point to say they're going to be back in this wild card race, because you've got all these teams to pass. And if you can't pass them, if you can't make up ground, if you can't get yourself well above 500 when you play two of the worst teams in all of Major League Baseball, it's just going to be hard to say, you know what? They got it this week against the Brewers. Oh, they got it this weekend when they take on the Braves. They've got it. They're going to take 2 out of 3. They're going to get themselves right back in this. If you can't do it against the 2 worst teams in the National League, you're not going to buy into them doing it against anybody else. So that's what starts tonight. This 13-game stretch is going to define the summer. If they thrive, if they go 9-4 and they go 10-3, and they get themselves 5 or 6 games above 500, mission accomplished. We've got a summer worth celebrating. But if they struggle, if they go to Coors and lose 2 of 3, if they come back and split the series with the Rockies here at Chase Field, that's not going to be good enough. That's not going to be the type of baseball that's going to keep the Diamondbacks in this to the trade deadline, to the All-Star break, into the dog days of summer when it's 110 plus outside.
Exactly. This is not going to... There is no coming back from this if you don't end up above 500 at the end of this stretch.
No, I certainly don't think so. I think if you go 6-7 in this stretch, it's over.
And it's not just right now. You're 2022 in this stretch. To me, if you do not leave it 1 game or at 500, so if you're not 2 games over 500 in that stretch, I think you're fighting a really big uphill battle.
Because they can go 6-7 in this stretch and still mathematically be in it, right? They'll still be probably within range. You'll be 3 games
under 500. You'll be in striking distance. I get all that.
But you just won't believe anymore.
And for the first time, you would say that this team didn't take advantage of an opportunity this year, because they haven't had many. They've been kind of swimming upstream with the games they've had on the schedule to this point. This is a break. This is the lull in the schedule where you can now take advantage and say, hey, we have to take 9 of 13, 8 of 13, whatever it may be, but you have to be above 500. And this is one of those stretches where you can take full advantage. And if you don't, it's hard to see a pathway with just what their schedule has looked like up until this point and will look like down the road.
Right, because after this 13-game stretch, we told you they go to Seattle and they come back to face the Dodgers. And I find it funny.
They don't go over 500 in this stretch. They may lose, 4 series in a row.
I mean, think about this. If they go 6-7 in this stretch against these 2 teams that they're going to face over the next 13 days, there's a world where they lose 4 of 6 against the Mariners and the Dodgers.
100%.
That's why this is so important. And, oh, by the way, it's funny how the math works out. The Diamondbacks have played 42 games so far. They're going to play 13 here during this stretch that we point out. That's 55. Didn't we tell you in spring, hey, it's the first 60 games that are really important for the Diamondbacks this year. Hey, it's a 60-game sprint. Got to play really well over the first 60. This is what we're talking about. And this is what we were talking about in the spring of you've got to get through 60 and feel like you've got a chance. Because guess what? The final 2 series after this get you to that 60-game mark.
You'll be at 61 after those final 2 series.
This is it.
And this is it, right? This is your chance to get to that point we talked about. You want to be over 500 at that 60-game mark. You want to be contending at that 60-game mark like we talked about. This is where you do it. You're 2 games under 500 right now. If you go 9-4 in this stretch, you're 3 games over, and you can suffer a series loss to Seattle or to LA and be at 500 going into wherever it is.
And here's the other thing that really sticks out to me about this, right? Offense has been abysmal to start the year. Been awful.
Terrible.
Nowhere near
Unplayable
where it needs to be, right?
Correct.
You're 2 games below 500. You take advantage of this 13-game stretch, you actually survived.
You have gotten pitching that you never dreamed imaginable at times.
You survived probably the worst you're going to play all year, and you're 2 games below 500. If you take full advantage, and I'm saying 9-4, 10-3, if you take full advantage of this 13-game stretch against the 2 worst teams in the National League, you actually make up for your offense being as bad as it was to start the year. Because you go 10-3. Trust me, this is going to be some tough math. I think I'll be able to do it. That is +7, right? 10-3 would be +7 in the win column.
Correct.
That would take you from 2 games below 500 to 5 games above 500 through 55 games. Would you sign up for that? If I would have told you before the season, through the first 55 games, the Diamondbacks are going to have a bottom third of the league offense, and they're going to be 5 games above 500, you would sign up for it. That's still possible. It's still right there in front of them. They have a chance in this next 13 games to be exactly the team we said they could be at the beginning of the year. So we can talk about the offense. We can talk about Ketel Marte. We can talk about Geraldo Perdomo. The rotation was bad there for a 2-week stretch, right? They had like a 10-start stretch where couldn't get through 5 innings. All of it can be rendered meaningless if you attack this 13-game stretch. It is still all there in front of this team. That's what gets me so encouraged for this weekend. It's still all in front of them. They've played not their best baseball through the first 42 games.
I hate this. I hate the saying it's early in baseball, but it is early enough.
This is why you say it, because you have opportunities like this.
Yes, because doors will open. You will have opportunities to take advantage of the weaker part of your schedule when it falls.
I'm sorry.
This is the advantage. This is the opportunity, and this is the advantage you can take, or this is the place you can take advantage of. And if they don't, you can't be telling yourself it's early anymore, because that was a huge opportunity that came and went. If you don't, take advantage of it, this is a huge thing for them where you can't sit down and be like, it's early. It's over.
Got to pass Washington. You got to pass Philly. Those are the 2 teams directly in front of you. You got to pass those teams.
You have to.
You have to start putting teams behind you in the wild card race, not stack them up in front of you. You only have a 1-game lead over the Miami Marlins, who are 20-24. You got to start creating some distance and passing some of these teams. This is the stretch to do it. And that stretch gets started tonight with a 3-game series in Colorado. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can chat away with us, the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. We've got that going over there so you can watch the show. When we come back, the schedule is released. It's time for us to play the win-loss game. We'll do it next. A lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RTO Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RTO Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
If you're in a crash, there's only one firm to call. Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Numbers don't lie. Sweet James win millions of dollars every week for their injured clients. If you're hurt, call Sweet James, get a free case review, and pay nothing until they win. 800-9-million, 800-900-0000, and sweetjames.com.
Just call Sweet James. 9 million. Just call Sweet James. Your accident attorneys.
My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade 2026. Live at Chase Field, September 6th, 2026. With special guest, Jimmy Eat World. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit mychemicalromance.com.
When you hear
Crunch.
whine, boing,
Alaskan AC will arrive to fix it in less than 24 hours from the first crunch.
whine, boing, no matter what kind of
Crunch.
whine or boing your AC is making.
We fix it on your schedule.
That's huge. We guarantee to be there in 24 hours or less, or the repair is free.
We not only get there fast, we Polar Bear promise we'll get the job done right.
We believe you deserve fresh air free of humidity in every room of your home, and you should never hear crunch.
Whine.
Boing.
If you do, call Alaskan AC, and we guarantee we'll be there in under 24 hours.
If we don't make it, your repair will be free.
No matter how big the crunch
Boing.
Or whine,
Wait, I thought I was whine.
you're crunch.
I'm Crunch. You're Boing.
I don't think I'm boing. Gary's more of a boing than me.
William is crunch.
Schedule now and tell us who boing is. Only at AlaskanAC.com.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. Not that we haven't covered this before, but after seeing the Cavaliers roar back from a 15-point deficit on the road against Detroit, the proverbial question, did the Pistons choke or did the Cavs rip it from them? As always, yes. And memo to Pistons coach, player, and fan. The ref show did not rip this from you. And as much fun as it is to blame Tony Brothers for everything that's wrong in the world, his non-call at the end of the game is not the reason you lost. Your inability to hold a 15-point lead, even a 9-point lead late, and have anybody not named Cade Cunningham do anything at all is the reason you lost. Shoot, you still had a chance in overtime, and you still didn't finish at home in one of the most important games you've played in years. Instead of looking for a bailout from the ref show, look in the damn mirror. Brothers did not beat you. The Cavs did. Oh, and you choked. I'm Jim Rome. And remember, you can always follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome.
Need parts fast? Need them now? O'Reilly is fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly Auto Parts stand apart. Right now at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts, you can get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 qualifying brake rotors. Ask the professional parts people about additional brake pad and rotor upgrade options available at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The U.S. Treasury just released its official financial report for 2025. Buried in it is a startling admission. By its own numbers, it appears the U.S. government is insolvent. When governments go this deep in debt, they print money, raise taxes, or cut benefits, none of which can help protect you. That's why people move part of their savings into physical gold and silver. Call Monetary Gold at 877-NOW-GOLD for their complimentary gold and silver guide. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. Do it before the next headline, not after. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Was Kevin Durant out because it is a 7-game series and we could afford to lose a game? Maybe. I was surprised to see him on the bench. Everyone was surprised. The odds makers were surprised. Who knew that the Houston Rockets without Durant can't find someone to make a bucket? You know, Sengun's a very good player, and in years past, he might have been the guy to try and carry the load, but it didn't look good at all for the Rockets without KD.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m.
The schedule has been released. We have ourselves the order in which the Cardinals are going to run through this gauntlet. By the way, shout out to the Los Angeles Chargers for once again having the best schedule release video. And the Cardinals having the one that is getting dunked on by everybody on social media for its use of AI.
Yeah, it's been dunked on quite a bit.
Well, and deservedly so. It was not very good.
It was not very good.
It was not very good. Like I said, it feels like a football Friday. Why? Because we get to play this music. Here we go.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Would you like to do this like the look ahead?
You know what? We didn't talk about it beforehand. That's exactly how I want to do it. By the way, got your new air condition?
Yes.
Is it up there on the roof?
It's up there on the roof. They brought the crane.
Everything's working correctly?
Yes, everything's up
nice
there
and cool?
correctly.
Okay.
It was like we had the AC guys, and my landlord had to come to like actually sign.
Well, of course, it's their
so
house.
we had everybody hanging out, just kind of in my living room while it was warm. AC kicking on, starting to cool it down. It was great. It's a good time.
All right, here we go.
So we're good.
Hold on, I need to see. You're gonna do it like in the style of the look ahead, but I also need to just see it because I got to start stacking together some wins here. Okay, whenever you're ready, there, producer Evan, fire away.
We start in the City of Angels.
The loss. Oh, sorry.
But it's not the Rams. It's the Los Angeles Chargers.
This is going to be a loss for me. I'll keep track of yours as well if you want.
Yeah, that's a loss.
Yeah. Not going to win on the road week 1 against the Chargers.
They come home.
So Code is playing along in the chat, just so you're aware. Just type the big L in the chat.
Perfect. I love that. They come home.
Yeah.
Where the Seattle Seahawks will defend their Super Bowl title in week 2.
Yep.
Against the pesky Cardinals at home.
Yeah, give me a loss.
Yeah, it's a loss.
0-2 to start the year.
They travel to Northern California to take on the San Francisco 49ers on the road in week 3. It's a loss.
I don't want to do it, but I think I agree with you. I think I'll go with a loss. They can win that game, though. They almost beat him there last year.
Yeah.
If Zay Jones just catches a 3rd and 9.
I mean, they almost beat Seattle last year.
Right.
Week 4, they go from coast to coast at the New York Giants.
It's a loss.
It's a loss.
I'm just looking at this. We're going to get really far into the season before they get a win.
Correct. After back-to-back games on the road, they return home.
Yeah, great.
And play Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions.
So glad that this is how they can come back from a road trip.
In what has not been coined, but I am coining it, the Drew Petzing revenge game.
Well, you know what they say. Got to be careful with the Drew Petzing revenge game.
Loss.
Yeah, it's a loss for me. We have them starting 0-5.
A return?
That's not going to happen, right? They're going to win one of these games.
No, they're going to start. They might go 0-7. A return to SoFi Stadium, this time to stay in division. They play the Rams in week 6 in LA.
Eric says the Cards are 2-2 after week 4. Now, I can't bring myself to do it, but you could convince me they win at San Francisco and at the Giants. You can sell me on it. I don't know if I'm buying, but I could. If you sold me, I could see why you're selling. You can't sell me Chargers week 1.
No.
You can't sell me Seattle week 2.
No.
You can sell me going to San Francisco in week 3 and winning. And if I had to change a game right now, that's the one. You know what? I'm changing. Week 3, they beat San Francisco.
Okay.
It's my list. I can do what I want.
It is.
They beat San Francisco week 3. But they lose in week 6 at LA against the Rams.
Yep, that's a loss for me too. I like Code's idea. He's done. He'll just pop in for win.
I'm out until a win appears. Well, see you, Code. Have a great rest of your day.
They return home in week 7 versus the Denver Broncos.
It's a loss. Oh, he's doing it.
Win.
It's his first win. So we're both through 7 weeks, and we're both 1-6. Just in case you're playing along at home.
From home to Dallas. They take on the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World in week 8, November 1st.
Now, they've beaten Dallas in Dallas previously.
Last year. Will it be the same quarterback?
It's the only win that Jacoby Brissett had last year as the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. Loss.
Just because I gave him the Denver game, like I don't see them winning 2 in a row.
Right. If you want to give him one of these 2, I think it's fine. But also, we haven't gotten there yet. What a late bye week for the Cardinals, week 14.
Really late. Code says that Denver's somehow wronged me.
No, I mean, this is just a crusade he's been on for the last 2 years. He's just anti-Bo Nix.
Yeah, I just don't think he's very good.
And you don't like Sean Payton.
I was going to say, I don't like Sean Payton.
You don't think Bo Nix is very good.
And I like Bo. I'm rooting for Bo.
I don't think you are.
I just don't think he's that great.
There's actually zero proof in anything we've ever done on this show that says you're rooting for Bo.
No.
Not accurate at
let me
all.
take you back to it. A day that the listeners won't remember. We'll peel back.
I know,
the
but hold
curtains.
on. You say this. Can you just look at the clock? Like we are into some trouble. Okay, we're in some
All
trouble.
right, I'll tell this story later in the
Please.
show. But Bo Nix on our head tops threw like 5 touchdowns in the first half. And I looked at you, I was like, this guy could be a first round pick.
It's true.
Week 9. After playing the Cowboys, they travel to Seattle to take on the Super Bowl champions on the road.
I've got a loss.
Yeah, that one? A loss. And they're going to give up 40 in that one. Week 10, back-to-back division games. This time they return home to take on the Los Angeles Rams once again. I have a loss.
Win. Got to win here. You have to find one upset that they're going to pull in the division. And I know I just gave them San Francisco on the road, but I think they're going to win 2 division games. These are the 2 I'm giving.
Code's on a heater today.
Yeah, he's feeling himself here today on a Friday. That's what I said. It feels like a football Friday.
Yes.
Everybody's playing their role today perfectly. Me, you, the YouTube chat. The only thing we're missing is Brian calling in, taking us in a completely different direction, and then we'd be just squarely in the middle of a football Friday.
In week 11, they travel to Arrowhead to take on the
Loss.
Chiefs. It's a loss.
Okay,
in week 12, they return home to take on the Washington Commanders.
They win this game.
I agree. The Commanders are a very interesting team. Like the Giants, I could see them winning 11 games. I could see them winning 4. I'm not a huge Dan Quinn believer. Jaden is awesome. And if he's healthy, they're great. We'll see if he's healthy the full year. Week 13, they remain home against the Philadelphia Eagles. Loss. Week 14.
Win.
Everybody on vacation.
It's a win. They're going to win the bye week.
Week 15.
You want to talk about 2 teams that are going to be tripping over each other at this point of the season. Although I have the Cardinals at 3 wins, so they're probably out of it anyway. But teams that are going to be tripping over each other for Arch Manning.
The New York Football Jets come to Arizona to play the Cardinals in Glendale.
I have a win.
I have a win as well. Win. The parade will be epic. The Saints.
So Code has the first win for the Cardinals coming in week 15. He has them starting 0-14. They'll fire Monty halfway through the season.
Coming off a bye. The Saints.
Oh my gosh. If the only win they have is the win coming off of the bye, my word.
At New Orleans in week 16.
They lose.
Week 17.
Yep.
It's home.
Yes.
Fernando
That's
Mania.
right. They lose. Fernando Mania takes over.
In week 18, they are home against the San Francisco 49ers.
They lose.
I'm going to do something in this game.
A win?
Win.
All right. So I have 1, 2, 3. I have 4-13. You have 4-13. So we got there in some different ways, but we have them going 4-13.
One win better.
And by the way, I didn't give them the Raiders game. They could easily win that game at home. And if they, lose in San Francisco, they can win that game.
And somehow, can I say something though? But 4-13 feels optimistic.
Yeah, I write down the 4-13. To be honest with you, I wanted to give them the Raiders game, but then in my head I was like, I've given them 4 wins already. 5 wins feels like that's too much. 4 doesn't feel great.
There it is.
There you have it. The win-loss game. This is how we feel immediately after the schedule has been released. We feel like we're going to watch a 4-13 football team. Producer Evan doesn't have the first win of the season. Can you imagine if the first win for us doesn't come to week 7? We got to get through the first 6 weeks
Who
of this.
doesn't think it's happening till week 15?
Yeah. we may lose Code by then. Code may not be a part of the show if it takes till week 15 for them to get their first win of the season. That would be abysmal. A lot more where that came from for the Cardinals schedule on the program today. But when we come back, it is supposed to be the plan this summer. Can the Suns actually do it? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
ASU baseball continues this Friday afternoon over on KACG 1440. Join the Sun Devils as they take on Houston in game number 2. Head coach Lee Bloomquist is more than ready to prove that his team travels well and can earn themselves another win. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, live. It's ASU versus Houston this Friday afternoon. Pregame at 4:15 p.m. and first pitch at 4:30 over on KACG 1440.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Arizona lawyer will handle Arizona cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
For over 50 years, they redefined rock. The spirit lives on.
Monday warrior, mean strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson celebrate 50 years of Rush 50-something tour. December 1st and 3rd, 2026. Desert Diamond Arena. Tickets are on sale now at rush.com. Legends don't stop. They evolve. Rush.
In Arizona, we expect big things. The Grand Canyon, wide open skies. And now there's Jumbo Buck Scratchers from the Arizona Lottery. They're bigger than big. They're jumbo. They've got jumbo prizes up to $1 million, jumbo bonus multipliers, and a jumbo promotion with $2 million in Players Club prizes with a grand prize of $1 million. So go for big, go for jumbo, and play Jumbo Buck Scratchers today. Arizona Lottery. Love the play.
When I scraped my car in that parking garage, I was worried that it could be a long process to take care of it. Like a landscaper's first day trimming a hedge maze.
I have definitely already been here. Now, was it left, right, or right, left? Well, maybe I'll cut a path out and find my way back later.
But it wasn't like that. I filed a claim in under 2 minutes on the Geico app, and they handled it from there. It was taken care of almost as quickly as it happened.
It feels good to get help quick. It feels good to Geico.
Hey, it's Phil Shaver with HomeSmart, and I want to buy your house. I'm a local investor that buys homes for cash all over Maricopa and Pinell County. I buy inherited homes, nice homes, rental homes, homes that are behind on mortgage payments, and I even buy ugly homes that need fixing. Also, are you looking to get closer to market value for your house? As a licensed realtor, I've been able to buy and sell thousands of homes. Since I'm local, you can call me directly on my cell phone, 480-409-9999. Again, that's 480-409-9999. I don't work for a big corporation or hedge fund, so I can only buy 3 to 5 homes per month. There are no fees involved, and you can pick your own close date. The best part is I buy homes as is, so you don't have to worry about doing any repairs. Again, you can call me directly at 480-409-9999, or you can go to my website, gosoldaz.com. That's gosoldaz.com.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RTO Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RTO Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
Back here on the lunch break. About 8 minutes from now, the Cardinals did not get a single primetime game. We'll discuss if they were disrespected by the schedule makers of the NFL. But I want to share with you all today just a growing feeling that I have. And it's a feeling that is growing because time is passing and we move closer and closer to the NBA offseason. But it's also growing the more and more I read about the options that are available to the Phoenix Suns this offseason. And I read about the tax thresholds and first apron and second apron and all the exemptions that are available to the Suns and what this exemption means and how it hard caps them to the first apron and just all of the different mechanisms that are available to the Suns this offseason. And the more I read pieces about trading Mark Williams and keeping Mark Williams and what is Colin Gillespie going to get in free agency, what is Jordan Goodwin going to want in a new deal from the Suns, just reading everything I can. And I read a report this morning that, Gillespie in the $10 to $15 million range and Goodwin maybe in the $7 to $10 million range. And just the more I read about those three players in particular, Mark Williams, Colin Gillespie, and Jordan Goodwin, the more I read about those three guys, and the more I read about all of the options that the Suns have, and the more that I keep thinking about the Suns really made it a priority last offseason to put themselves in a spot where they could dip under the luxury tax by trading Nick Richards at the trade deadline. And I think to myself that they actually can shed their repeater moniker, their tag, by being under the tax again this offseason. Because it's, I think, 3 of 4 seasons. And so if the Suns were back as a tax team this year, yes, they were not a tax team last year, but they were a tax team the previous 2 seasons. So that would be 3 of 4. So they need another year in which they dip below to shed that status. The more I think about all of these things and I put it into the blender, I just keep coming back to this idea. Are they really going to be able to bring everybody back? Is it financially feasible for Colin Gillespie and Jordan Goodwin and Mark Williams to all be back on the roster next season while also maintaining the financial flexibility that the Suns, I think, are eager to get? Because staying under the first apron, I think they can do. They can't stay under the luxury tax by keeping all 3 of these guys. I don't think they can. Maybe they'll wow us with the contracts that they have. But they are right now, I think it's like $15 to $18 million between right now and the luxury tax. Gillespie and Goodwin are going to eat that up. It's before you even talk about a Mark Williams deal. And so I don't know. I'm still kind of marinating on it a little bit. That's why I didn't make it a take a note yesterday. But I don't think they're going to be able to bring everybody back. And I think that means Mark Williams is playing elsewhere next season.
And it's hard to see a world in which they can bring everybody back. And I know that gets, hard to comprehend, but the closer we get to this offseason really heating up, and I just don't see a world where it makes financial sense for this team to do it. Like, I wouldn't get it.
Well, it just depends on if you fully believe that they want to stay under the tax again this year. And it just feels like that's what they want to do. Now, there is always this scenario where they find a suitor that takes on Grayson Allen's contract, that they find a suitor that wants to take on Royce O'Neal's contract, and they don't have to take back massive salaries to make those deals possible. And if they do that, well, that changes the financial math a little bit. That changes the numbers that the Suns have to work with. That frees up, I think it's another $20-something million in space. Now it becomes more feasible to bring all 3 of those guys back because that $20 million that you're paying to Grayson and Royce can go to Goodwin and to Colin Gillespie, and then the $15 million that you have right now can go to Mark Williams, and you can kind of get there, right? You can make the math work. But right now, unless those deals are happening, Now, the way the NBA cap works is your tax bill isn't calibrated or accounted for until the end of the season. So you have the full year to work your way through the numbers. So maybe they open the year above it and they get underneath it by the time the season is over. I don't think they would want to play that risky of a game. With Nick Richards, he wasn't making a ton of money and they weren't that much over the tax, so it was easy to make the move. You don't want to be 15, 20 million over and then get to the trade deadline and want to make a move to get under the tax. So I think they're going to want to do a lot of the heavy lifting in the summertime. But I don't know. I just don't see a path right now. Unless something changes, unless there's a trade that happens, it doesn't seem financially feasible. Thinking about what we are guessing is the financial goals for the Suns. Just doesn't seem like all three of those guys coming back feels like a possibility.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense right now.
Again,
I just don't think it makes sense.
If they don't care about the tax status, then all three guys will be back. But if they do, I just don't see it right now. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, 0 primetime games where the Cardinals disrespected. That's next, the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Does LeBron want to play another year, 2 years? How important is maybe going someplace to win another title? Going back to Cleveland, you bookend your career. The money aspect of it, the Lakers with Austin Reeves, it's Luka's team. How do you surround him? What do you surround him with? I thought LeBron did a pretty admirable job. In the playoffs, I thought he played pretty well. Now, there are times when he looks like he's 41, which is understandable. But he's not my lead dog.
Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m. on KTUS AM 1060.
It's John Holbert here from the Morning Sickness, chilling away for Lifted Trucks. I have not shut up about my Ford Bronco, and there's a reason. It's not just a Bronco. It's a one-of-a-kind Bronco built at Lifted Trucks, and I'm not exaggerating. People walk up to me, total strangers, parking lots, gas stations, lights, breweries. Hey, man, coolest Bronco I've ever seen, they say. And that does not happen with a stock car. That's what Lifted Trucks does. They don't just sell vehicles, they build them. Custom lifts, wheels, paint, interiors, stuff you're not going to see driving around next to you at every stoplight. And it's not just me. My dad saw mine and said, yeah, I'm going to get one of those. And now he's got his own Bronco from Lifted Trucks, custom paint, custom interior. It's lifted up, the whole thing. It's beautiful, and it's one of a kind. And it's not just Broncos either. I was there the other day, saw a Ford King Ranch, perfectly matched custom paint, absolutely beautiful. That truck looked like it was already sitting in its forever garage. Here's the best part. They'll ship it anywhere. So it doesn't matter where you are. You can get something built just for you. And if you want something that actually stands out, there's one place to go. LiftedTrucks.com. Work hard, play hard, drive harder.
Hi, everyone. Super Bowl champ Vernon Davis here from Legal Help Center. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up, because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. You can find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. The call is free. The consultation is free. And you can speak with a live agent right now. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident of any kind, call now to find out if you have a case and how much you could potentially get.
Thanks, Vernon. You heard it, folks. If you've been injured, call and find out how much you qualify for. Call 800-863-1010. That's 800-863-1010. 800-863-1010. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states. Not available in California.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RTO Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RTO Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
The Cardinals were one of 5 teams that did not get a single primetime game when the schedule got released yesterday. The Raiders, the Dolphins, the Titans, and the Jets are also in that room with the Cardinals. Those are the 5 teams that have 0 primetime games this upcoming season. The Saints and the Browns have 1. The Colts have 2. It's towards the bottom end of the scale. The Rams have the most with 7, by the way. 7 primetime games for the Los Angeles Rams. And so I've seen a lot of discourse on this, and I want to weigh in a little bit. The Cardinals disrespected because they have 0 primetime games. The NFL, primetime windows, and they define that as the games that are played at night. So we're talking Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Wednesday night in the case of the Thanksgiving Eve game. But these windows where there are these primetime games, usually, in most cases, in the vast majority of the cases, we would agree these are standalone games, right? There's the occasional doubleheader on Monday night, but Sunday night,
Correct.
Monday night, Thursday night, these
Standalone
are
games.
standalone games. So this is, if you're a diehard football fan, you're going to sit down and watch Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, and you're watching just one game. If you're the NFL, you want those games to be appealing. You want those games to be entertaining. You want those games to be when somebody who's just a casual diehard fan, and what I mean by that is they look at who's playing and they see that game and they're going to determine, okay, am I going to block out the rest of my day to make sure I watch that Thursday night game? Let me let you in on a little secret, everybody. When most football fans see a game that involves the Arizona Cardinals, they are not going to go out of their way to watch. You might, because you're a Cardinals fan. We're going to, because it's our job. But the vast majority of people are going to skip it. They're going to skip it because the Cardinals aren't entertaining. We just did win-loss game. We projected them to be a 4-win football team. You brought me a stat this morning. They are an underdog in every game they play in. Is that really what you want for a national audience to see? Is that really what you want in the primetime standalone window? And here's to all those who say that the Cardinals were disrespected. Guess what? Primetime games are earned. Primetime games are earned because of your market size. Primetime games are earned because of your status in the league. Buffalo's not a huge market. They have 6 primetime games. Why? Because they've got Josh Allen and they're a good football team and there's a lot of good games when the Buffalo Bills are playing. So you want that? You want primetime games? Could be a better football team. By the way, the NFL a couple years ago, they created a nice little rule for themselves. From about week 12 on, Monday Night Football, we can flex all these games. Thursday Night Football can be flexed now. Sunday Night Football can be flexed now. You want to play a primetime game? You want to play a primetime game this season? You got to just go out there and do one simple thing. You got to go out there and win. You go out there and win, and you win a bunch. You'll get flexed into Monday Night Football. You'll get flexed into Sunday Night Football. They'll flex a divisional game into Thursday Night Football. You'll get in there.
You will.
But you got to earn it. It's not just handed out. It's not just given to you. These are the teams, okay? I'm going to read to you the teams that have 5 or more primetime games. You tell me the team that's undeserving of having at least 5 primetime games, okay? Dallas, Philadelphia, the Bears, the Patriots, the 49ers, the Packers, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Seahawks, the Rams.
The least deserving is the Cowboys, but they have the star on the side of their helmet. So
they're a huge brand.
They're a huge brand.
They're gonna generate eyeballs.
People watch.
But okay, put them to the side. Everybody else,
from a team perspective, everybody else is so deserving on that list.
Defending Super Bowl champs, defending AFC champs, the Rams, the Chiefs with Mahomes. These are all teams that deserve to be in prime time. Guess what? The Cardinals don't deserve to be in prime time. And I love this. All these teams that have 0, disrespected. Okay, you can change it. You want to play primetime games this season? You want to play primetime games next season? Just go out there and win. Go out there and prove that the league overlooked you. It's actually really simple. You can change the narrative. You just got to go out there and do it. Instead, most of the teams that got 0 primetime games, the Jets, the Cardinals, the Titans, the Dolphins, the Raiders, you know what they're actually going to do when they go out there and play this year? They're going to prove that the NFL got this right. They're going to prove that the NFL was right to not give those teams primetime games because those teams combined are going to have what? 12 wins among those 5 teams?
That's what you would imagine. 12.
The Dolphins are tanking. Jets won 2 games last year. Cardinals won 3 games last year. Titans changed their head coach. Raiders had the number 1 overall pick. I'm sorry, primetime games are not handed out like a participation trophy. You want to play in primetime, you want to play on Monday night, you want to play on Sunday night, you want to play on Thursday night, and you feel disrespected because the Cardinals aren't playing there. They've got to go out there and earn it. Cardinals aren't playing an international game. The NFL picks the international games because they are trying to grow the game. They are not going to pick the Arizona Cardinals to help them grow the game right now. It's not going to happen.
And it never will.
Oh, it might?
Oh, yeah, not this year.
It's not going to happen
in the
this
next
year.
3 years.
You go out there and shock the world and win 7 games this season. You get a quarterback in the offseason. You'll get some primetime games. You might get an international game. You might play in London next year. But not right now. Not at your current status. Primetime games are not something that every team should have at least one. Sorry, I don't believe in it. If you're a bad football team, you're not going to be put in these windows where you're the only game in town. Because you know what? You know what people are going to do? They're going to go watch something else.
And I don't blame them.
They're going to go do something else. The NFL on these standalone windows are about eyeballs. On Sunday, when everybody's playing, they know they're going to get everybody. They're going to get everybody watching Red Zone. They're going to get everybody that wants to sit down and watch football all day long on Sunday. But Monday, Thursday, Sunday night, after a long day of football, it's got to be engaging. It's got to be a matchup people want to see, teams that people want to see. Right now, the Cardinals are not one of those teams. But they can change it. It's all right there in front of them. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. We got buy or sell. Talk about Carson Beck, weekend winners, the leftovers, all of it coming up in hour number 2. It's the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. Hurt in a crash? Now you're in pain, missing work, and your car's out of commission. Call the accident attorneys at Sweet James. They help you get medical care, handle your case, and fight for the money you may need to get your life back. Pay nothing until they win. Get a free case review at 800-9-MILLION, 800-900-0000, and sweetjames.com.
Just call Sweet James at 1-800-9-MILLION. Just call Sweet James, your accident attorneys.
You're invited to a very special evening with Boz Scaggs, live in concert. Rhythm Review Tour 2026. Boz Scaggs performing all the hits and more for one night only. Live at Mesa Arts Center, Saturday, September 26th. Boz Scaggs, live in Mesa, Arizona. Get tickets now at mesaartscenter.com.
Big fat news. Del yeah. Big fat tacos are back at Del Taco. Get these toasty flatbread tacos with seasoned beef, grilled chicken, or carne asada steak. Right now, grab 2 grilled chicken big fat tacos for just $6 small. Need a little something extra? For a limited time, score Del's classic snack tacos with seasoned beef and fresh house grated cheddar for just 59 cents each. Only at Del Taco. Price and participation may vary.
Meineke's highly skilled and certified technicians always treat your car like it's their own. With over 50 years of experience, Meineke will diagnose and fix any issue with precision and care using the best state-of-the-art equipment. You can always depend on Meineke to do the job right and get you back on the road in no time. Save time and schedule an appointment now. Visit Meineke.com today. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
Been crazy busy these days? Sounds like you could use a little we time. That means playtime at the AAA 4-Diamond Wecopa Casino Resort. Game time with more than 900 slots plus table games. Maybe a tea time on one of 2 nationally ranked courses. And definitely some hang time at WKP Sportsbook, the largest sportsbook in the state. Wecopa Casino Resort. It's we time.
Superstar Car Wash, the car wash with superpowers. Sign up for a free car wash today. That's right, totally free for a limited time. Because we love what makes you shine. See website for details.
The KDUS AM 1060 app is brought to you by Law Bear Auto Accident Attorneys. Hurry to lawbear.com.
That's lawbear.com. The bear has your back.
It is hour number 2 on a Friday, which means we are 1 hour until the weekend. So it is our last edition of Buy or Sell this week here on the show. Can't wait to see how producer Evan's going to end the week here.
You know what they say?
Nothing, absolutely nothing like the Friday Buy or Sell on a Friday that feels like a football Friday because the NFL schedule was released the day before, right before the Diamondbacks start a very important 13-game stretch. There's nothing like that version of Buy or Sell.
The Cardinals won't win more than one division game this year.
Hold on. Just want to check something real quick. No, I think I have them winning.
You have them at 2?
Yeah, I think I do. So I will sell the take.
Wow. Mr. Confident.
Well, I mean, I have to be consistent, right? We did the quick win-loss game, and I had them winning week 3. And then where else did I have them winning?
At the Rams at home.
Right.
That'd be a huge win.
So I gotta stick to what I said.
Carson Beck will get his first start at home this year.
We're going to talk about this in the next segment, where we think Carson Beck is going to start. Just trying to look at the schedule here, because I think there's a couple of decent places for him to start. There's one that's like really late in the season that I don't love, and I think it's the one that everyone is kind of jumping on, and I just don't think it's going to be that late in the year. So let me just look one more time. Yeah, it's going to be at home.
I feel like it just always makes the most sense for a young guy like that coming in. It just makes the most sense for that first start to be at home.
I think I found it, but
okay.
I think you're going to be surprised. This is assuming that Jacoby Brissett is the week 1 starter.
Yes, and I think I found it as well.
Okay.
I have my guess.
We'll do that in the next segment.
These next 13 games will decide if the Diamondbacks are buyers or sellers.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think these 13 games will determine if the summer is going to be about this team actually being in the National League wildcard race, or if we're going to start planning who they can move, which deals are expiring, what the market looks like, what they need to prioritize. I mean, if you can't take advantage of the Rockies and the Giants, how am I supposed to believe that you're going to beat Seattle? Now, you can do it. You can just go out there and beat Seattle in a 3-game series. You can beat the Dodgers in a 3-game series. You can do it. But what's going to make us believe that you can do it and do it enough to actually be in this race? That's why this 13-game stretch is so important.
Massively.
Because if you beat these teams and you win all of the series and you're 9-4 or 10-3, you have actually gained ground in the wild card race. You've actually put yourself at the center of it. You're above 500. You are a team that needs to be taken seriously at the 60-game mark.
100%.
If you don't, if you go 6-7 or worse, you're just not a serious playoff contender.
You can't look at him as a serious playoff contender.
No. And it will be self-inflicted at that point.
The Cardinals will have 3 wins or less by the bye.
Yeah, I think we both had that, right? You had them at 2. You had them winning in week 7 and week 12. That was 2. I had them winning week 3, week 10, and week 12. But I didn't have them getting their 4th win until after. And you have them
2.5. All right, I'll put them at 2.5.
Well, I would buy because I have them at 3. You would sell. You would hit the buzzer.
I would sell.
Well, you would, because you had them winning in week 7 and week 12 and not picking up their 3rd win until week 15, right out of the bye. We both have That's one of the two overlaps we have. We both have them winning week 12, and we both have them winning week 15.
Love that. Both game 6s in the NBA tonight will force game 7. Either of them?
I mean, I said this earlier this week. You asked me about 2 game 7s, and I said no. What makes you think I'm going to change here on a Friday? You think you're going to catch me sleeping here, and then you'll be able to throw it in my face? Not happening. I'm sharp today.
Cavs.
It's a football Friday.
Yeah, I don't. It is, and you are not speaking anything by it.
No, I whatever type of exotic pressure you want to throw at me, I'm ready for it today. Let's go.
He's seeing it.
I've got a nice hard count ready to go.
Baseball looks like a beach ball to him.
You're not sneaking one past me today. Not happening. I'm sorry, what was the take?
The take was that I just asked after the take, will there be at least one game 7? Well, I know you think San Antonio closed it out tonight.
I do.
Do you think that Detroit can get it to force game 7 in Cleveland?
I think it's way more likely that Detroit forces a game 7 than Minnesota forces a game 7.
Tonight feels like a huge night for James Harden.
Really? Because I think tonight feels like a very important night for Cade Cunningham.
Both, really. Cade's got plenty of time.
Because let me ask you this. Well, you say that. You're the 1 seed in the East, right?
Yes.
You won 60 games.
Yes.
You're going to fall short of the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah, I mean, it's bad.
Because, okay.
But we see this happen in 1 seeds all the time.
I know that. But you said there's still time, right?
In his career.
Okay.
How much time does James have left?
No, hold on. Did Detroit Lions get back to the NFC title game since their little miscue?
No.
Washington Commanders had to go after the run in Jaden's rookie year to the NFC Championship game, and all I heard was, there's plenty of time. How'd it work out in year 2?
Not great. No, I get it.
None of this is guaranteed. And I'm sorry, but I look at the Eastern Conference, right? Are the Knicks going anywhere?
No.
Boston didn't have Tatum for a full season, and they were better than expected. Indiana's going to get Halliburton back, right?
Yes.
Orlando's a young team on the rise.
100%.
Giannis might go to Miami.
No, 100%.
So this idea of, there's plenty of time, sure. But you know what? You know what also is true? They won 60 games and they were the 1 seed. It's a failure if they don't win this series. A 1 seed not making it to its conference finals, to me, failure.
100% it is, but in the NBA, that just happens more.
Okay.
And I know that's like a lazy way to like put it out there or look at it, but it just feels like that happens all the time. And people, from a legacy standpoint, don't get knocked if it happens once or twice.
I'm not knocking anybody's legacy. I'm just saying that this year should be viewed as a disappointment, and there should be zero guarantees about them ever getting to the Eastern Conference Finals in this current era.
100%. I'm not arguing that. If the conversation, though, is who is it more important for?
I think it's more important for
Cade Cunningham or James Harden. I think it's more important for James Harden.
Harden wins this game tonight and they go to the Eastern Conference Finals. He's still going to have all of the baggage that he has, right, as a player?
Yeah, but if they make it to the finals.
If they beat the Knicks?
If they beat the Knicks.
Okay, if they go to the finals, I think it's a different story. But for Cade Cunningham, a young player that's supposed to be the guy, the star, you led a team that won 60 games. You led a team that was the 1 seed in the East. You barely won your first-round matchup. And then you get bounced by Cleveland, the 4 seed. Right? Let's remind everybody. The Pistons barely got by their first-round matchup.
Yes. Went to 7.
So it was not easy for you.
And they, Orlando blew a massive lead.
So I don't know, man. I just think for a young player, when you have a moment like this,
you got to take advantage.
You got to take advantage of it because there's no guarantee. Devin Booker played in an NBA Finals. There's a world where he never gets back to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
In his career.
I think a lot of people don't think he won't.
When you have these chances, when you have as good of a team as Detroit has had this season, You've got to take full advantage of it.
I agree. I get where you're coming from. I totally get where you're coming from.
Because we keep falling into this trap, I think, as sports fans. When there's a young team that has a run, the default is, oh, man, they're going to be around forever. Not everybody can do what Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs did. Not everybody can do what Steph Curry and the Warriors did, right? I mean, it's not that simple. There is parity across the sports. There's parity in these leagues.
On purpose, obviously. I'm not.
Would it shock you if Detroit next year was the 4 seed?
No.
Okay, and so now as the 4 seed, in the second round, you're going to have to go on the road probably. In the Eastern Conference Finals, you're going to have to go on the road. Game 7's not going to be in your building.
Correct.
This year, Game 7 in your back pocket. So you win tonight in Cleveland, you have a Game 7 in Detroit. Next year, that might not be the case. So that's why I think it's so important, and we lose sight of it sometimes. When a team is having a season like Detroit is having, you kind of have to see it all the way through. You have to finish the story. To quote Cody Rhodes, the wrestler, finish the story. Because you just don't know. You don't know if the story's going to be there next year.
Cody Rhodes, one of my big weekend winners from a few weeks ago.
I think in one of the first editions of the weekend winners.
Yes, that was awesome. What a great pull that was by me.
It was very good by you, yeah.
So anyway, you think it's Detroit? I didn't get a winner pick out of that.
If there is a team that's going to force a Game 7, I think it's Detroit. Yes.
Got it. Perfect. The D-backs will get good pitching throughout the weekend. I didn't want to do this to you, to the point where when I was reading it, I hesitated because I was like, he's going to hate this. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm letting it fly.
Do you know why I hate it, though?
Because they're in Colorado.
Right.
That's why I did.
They're pitching so well that I want to, but they're in cores, so I just don't know what to do.
That's what I'm reading it, and I was like, he's going to hate it.
I just don't know. This is where I'm going to land.
This weekend, it's going to be some interesting pitching matchups.
We've got Merrill Kelly tonight, right?
Yeah, so it'll be Merrill Kelly versus Kyle Freeland
and Kyle
tonight.
Freeland has an ERA, I think it's north of 10. Can you check, please? Yes. I think it's north of 10.
Kyle Freeland, 6 ERA.
My apologies.
On Saturday.
What is ERA at home? What is his ERA at Coors Field?
Let's do it. Give me a second.
We live in an era of AI. This shouldn't be this difficult.
No, it's not. He's better at home.
He's better at home, really.
5.91 ERA.
Wow.
6.05 on the road.
Yeah.
He started only 2 games at home.
All right, so that's the pitching matchup tonight.
Tomorrow on Saturday.
That's right.
Erod hits the bump.
The ace.
I mean, that's going to be great. Erod versus Seguano.
Who's actually been good.
He has been good. 4.07 ERA.
Yeah.
In Coors is very solid. And then on Sunday, a little daytime baseball to finish it off. Mike Soroka hits the hill versus Michael Lorenzen in a battle of the Michaels.
Just glad that we get to make sure Zach Gallen doesn't pitch in Coors, you know? That would have been bad. Wouldn't have felt good about it. That would have been probably the loss of the weekend.
Yes, it would. Nolan Arenado will hit a home run this weekend against his former team.
I'll take the over-under on 1.5 home runs hit by Nolan Arenado this weekend.
1.5?
I'll take the over.
So you're going multiple.
I don't want to. You know what? I know it's a little early. Put Nolan down as one of my weekend winners.
All right, last one for you. T-backs will sweep.
I think the bats break out. I think they get good pitching, and they get a sweep in this 3-game series against the Colorado Rockies. Yes.
That's all I got for you.
Well, that was a quick buy or sell for us. Considering yesterday we talked about sandwiches and barbecue for the first 10 minutes. So this for us was pretty good. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You want to chime in on the Cardinals schedule, the Diamondbacks over the weekend against the Rockies, whatever's on your mind. 480-864-1060. You can also chat with us, the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, Let's look at the Cardinals schedule once more. When might Carson Beck start? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
Was Kevin Durant out because it is a 7-game series and we could afford to lose a game? Maybe. I was surprised to see him on the bench. Everyone was surprised. The odds makers were surprised. Who knew that the Houston Rockets without Durant can't find someone to make a bucket? You know, Sengun's a very good player, and in years past, he might have been the guy to try and carry the load, but it didn't look good at all for the Rockets without KD.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m.
We watch these lawyers get on TV and say they're going to treat their clients like family, when we know they put secret mandatory quotas on their lawyers. That means your own lawyer pressures you into a premature, terrible result. Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. We don't set settlement quotas. We measure success by achieving each client's best outcome and by each client's happiness.
Do your research after a serious injury. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Chicago Sticks, the Windy Cities Tour. Finally, 2 iconic bands together for the first time. September 1st, Mortgage Matchup Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Chicago and Sticks. All the hits. Your kind of tour.
AAA membership travels with you in any car, whether driver or passenger. It's 24/7 expert help with towing, battery, and branch services across the valley. Join AAA for less than $6 a month and add loved ones for half off. Call or visit your local branch today.
America First Credit Union has everything you need to get your money working. And for a limited time, new members get a $150 cash bonus for opening a checking account and $200 more for enrolling in and using direct deposit. If you're ready to do more with your money and get up to $350 cash, head to americafirst.com and become a member today. Subject to membership eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, change, and conditions. Additional requirements may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Little Dealer, Little Prices is making history. Our 50-plus locations are opening their doors for our grand opening event. May 14th through the 17th, spin to win discounts, 20% off repairs, and enter to win a free RV. Visit Little Dealer, Little Prices. Terms and conditions may apply. See dealer for details.
Above the noise. If Bryson DeChambeau and John Rahm hope to use the PGA Championship as a reminder of how valuable they could be when the door fully reopens to the PGA Tour, their first round did not exactly help their case. DeChambeau never truly found his footing, finishing 6 over par. For a player whose value has always been tied to not just star power, but contention, it was hardly the kind of statement performance that shifts perception. Rahm's day, a little more complicated. From a pure golf standpoint, he played solidly enough to remain relevant, but frustration became part of the conversation when an angry swing took out a divot that struck a fan, an incident that quickly overshadowed portions of his round. Rahm apologized, but the presentation has always mattered, especially with the PGA Tour. Talent remains the biggest currency, and both players have more than enough of it. But if this week was supposed to be a referendum on rebuilding momentum, neither player gained much ground yet. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. These days, everybody's searching for ways to save on insurance, scrolling comparison sites, digging through tips, chasing deals. But Liberty Mutual makes it simple. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance to save you money. And when you bundle, those savings really start to come through. It's insurance built for real people with a team that helps you keep what matters most, money. No hassle, just confidence that your coverage is customized with savings in mind. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local independent agent. Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it really easy. Fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, convenient installation options, and the best selection of General tires. Go to TireRack.com/Dan to see their General tires, test results, tire ratings, and reviews, and be sure to check out all the special offers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Hey there, campers! It's Jan from Toyota. Time to pack your bags and buckle your seatbelts because this summer we're headed to Camp Toyota. And the fun starts now! We're kicking things off by kicking up mud. Jump in, campers. We're going off-roading in a powerful new 4Runner. Next, we're taking a RAV4 to go fly fishing. Then we're heading to the hot springs in a spacious Sequoia.
Jan, what is that smell?
Sulfur stinks. Now we're hitting the hiking trails in a rugged Grand Highlander. And finally, park your Tundras and Tacomas around the campfire because we're roasting marshmallows. Don't worry if you burn a few, folks. I brought a truckload. Your summer starts here.
Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends June 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
ASU baseball continues this Friday afternoon over on KACG 1440. Join the Sun Devils as they take on Houston in game number 2. Head coach Lee Bloomquist is more than ready to prove that his team travels well and can earn themselves another win. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, live. It's ASU versus Houston this Friday afternoon. Pregame at 4:15 p.m. and first pitch at 4:30 over on KACG 1440.
Back here on the lunch break. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Friday. It's KDUSAM 1060. Hey, download the free KDUSAM 1060 app. You listen for your chance to win 4 tickets. Diamondbacks Rockies next Saturday, May 23rd at Chase Field. You listen for 1 hour on the app. You are entered in to win a 4-pack of tickets next Saturday when the Diamondbacks take on the Rockies. Okay, I think this is the last layer to the schedule onion that I want to peel back today. We played the win-loss game. We talked about no primetime games. Now let's talk about Carson Beck and where he might start. Now, we got to set some ground rules here, Producer Evan, before we do this. We have to decide, do we think Jacoby Brissett is the week 1 starter as we sit here today?
Okay, I think that he is the week 1 starter.
And I think in order to do this exercise, we have to determine, do we think Jacoby Brissett is the week 1 starter or do we think Carson Beck is the week 1 starter? Because if we think Carson Beck's going to be the starter, then that's the answer.
And then we don't have a segment.
And that wouldn't make for great radio because we've got some time to fill. So instead, let's operate in a world where Jacoby Brissett is the starter. And I think there's a lot of reasons why it's fair to say Jacoby Brissett is going to be the starter. Kind of got leaked that he's the starter. Carson Beck is still, at the end of the day, a rookie. You have a first-year rookie head coach who's going to want to hit the ground running. That leans more towards a veteran. I don't worry about the holdout. I think they'll get that contract done. And so that leads to Jacoby Brissett, week 1 starter. Okay. So now we've got to find a spot where we think Jacoby Brissett will get benched and Carson Beck will get the gig. Now, I want to go back to what we did in hour number 1 when we played the win-loss game. Because I want to just let everybody know, a reminder, that Producer Evan had the Cardinals losing their first 6 games of the season. He had them starting 0-6. I had the Cardinals starting 0-2 before picking up a surprise win against San Francisco in week 3. I then had the Cardinals losing their next 6 games, but I had them picking up an early win. And the reason why I bring up that you had them starting 0-6 is because I don't see a world where Jacoby Brissett, after finishing the year the way that he did last year, can survive an 0-6 start.
No, I don't see it either.
So I don't see a world where if we just follow your map here, Jacoby Brissett's not going to be the starter for all 6 games.
Correct.
At some point, there's going to be a switch that gets flipped, and Brissett is moved to the bench.
I believe that will happen.
Now, the other thing you have to keep in mind is you kind of want to find a decent landing spot for him, right? You want to find a spot where he can get into a flow, right? You don't want to start him in Seattle for his first start, right? Like, it doesn't feel like week 9 in Seattle is going to be the spot to start Carson Beck. If you could pick it, right? If it was an ideal situation. It's not week 9 at Seattle. It's not week 11 at Kansas City. Now, the place that I've seen circled by a lot of different people is that week 12 game against Washington.
It's that one because you're at home for 2, then you have the bye and you're at home again.
So it's the 2 home games, right, in a row, which leads into a bye week. And then it is the soft spongy part of the schedule, squishy part of the schedule, however you want to describe it.
And I think a lot of people, and rightfully so, look at this schedule and say, honestly, this team only has 1, 2, 3, 4 home games before week 11. They start 4 of their first 11 at home, play 7 road games. They don't play a back-to-back home game until week 13 after coming off a home game at Washington. So I get it.
And if you made him the starter in week 12 and you said you're going to get the rest of the season, that would give him 5 home games and just 1 road visit, and it would be to New Orleans. That's it. So I understand why that is the spot that people pick, because it's 5 home games. It's a softer part of the schedule. It's a Jets team that shouldn't be very good. It's a Saints team that we're still not sure about. It's a Raiders team that will be fresh off of the number 1 overall pick. So Mendoza will probably be starting in that game. So you can see where you might be able to pick off a couple of wins. You might be able to end the season on a good note. But here's where I'll push back. Because if he starts that game against Washington, that means we're getting 6 starts of Carson Beck. Is that going to be enough for you to feel comfortable in the offseason about whether or not you want to continue down the Carson Beck rabbit hole? I don't think it is. I don't think 6 games is going to be enough to properly evaluate what you have in Carson Beck. So I think the sample size needs to be larger. And so that's why week 5, a home game against Detroit, is where I think Carson Beck starts for the Arizona Cardinals.
Week 5.
Week 5, home against the Detroit Lions.
I'm gonna hit you with one.
Well, let me just walk you through how I got there, right?
If they win at San Francisco, how does he start that early?
It's fair. I have the Cardinals going 4-13, and they win that game.
Yeah.
So if Jacoby does pick off that win, and I will admit that's probably the flimsiest of the wins that I have given the Cardinals. If they win that game, this probably doesn't happen. But if they lose that game, and let's just play out your scenario because you have them losing 4 in a row. Actually, let's do it this way. Let's look at where he ideally starts in my schedule and your schedule. In your schedule, I think it's week 5 against the Lions. And the reason why is if you start 0-4 with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, the 3 almost is too little, especially with the 3 games that you start with. If they lose the one to the New York Giants on the road and you're 0-4, now the conversations start. I think you come home and this isn't your home opener, so the pressure of that is off. And I think you let Carson run. And I know Detroit's going to be a good team, but they're not starting him 2 weeks later against that Denver defense.
Now, that's where I think he ideally starts in my scenario, where they win that week 3 game. Because if they lose week 4, week 5, and week 6, then you're 1-5 to start the year.
And you make the switch at Denver.
And you make the switch because it's a home game. You're not starting him for the first time on the road. So our candidates are week 2 against Seattle, not happening. Week 5 against Detroit, possible. Week 7 against Denver, possible. Week 10 against the Rams, possible, but you play Seattle the week before and you play Kansas City the week after. So it's kind of hard to get him prepared for that. And then it's the home against Washington in week 12.
Is there a road game where you could see him stepping in to be the starter?
At Dallas week 8?
Yeah. Read my mind. If the at Dallas game gets a little interesting, they won't start him at Seattle, and I don't think they would want him that to be his second game either. But the at Dallas just seemingly makes a little sense to me.
And that's why I think maybe at Denver or home against Denver is where you get him in. He gets a home start under his belt. Yes, it's a tough defense, but it's a game that they probably should be in because Denver doesn't score a lot.
Yeah, no, and he may see – they may not have a chance to win the game, but he may see solid time at the end of the game of pressure situations against a very good defense. Like they may only be up 2 scores or 1 score because they just don't score all that much. You may still mathematically be in that football game up until the bitter end.
I think the 3 candidates are week 5 against Detroit, week 7 against Denver, week 12 against Washington. I think those are the 3 candidates. Now, I have the Cardinals winning a game early, and that may buy Jacoby Brissett some time, and so week 5 is off the table. But I think about this is a team that's going to want to see the most of Carson Beck, and so if you're not going to make him the starter from week 1, I think the earliest place to potentially get him in would be week 5. Now, it's a little hypocritical because I have them winning that game, but if you'll remember, If you'll remember, I originally had them losing the game, and then I changed it because I didn't like them losing their first 9 games of the season.
Correct.
You know what? I want to change.
What do you want to change?
I want to change week 3 to a loss.
Oh, no.
And I want to give them week 17 against the Raiders. So I can stay at 4-13, but I can get Carson Beck into the fold earlier.
I don't hate that. Did you give them the Jets win?
I did. So I have them going 2-2 to end the season. You and I both have them going 2-2 post-bye. You have them beating the Jets. I have them beating the Raiders. You have them upsetting the 49ers.
Correct.
So I'm going to make one change. Because as we talk this out, they've got to start Carson Beck, I think, earlier than week 12 against the Commanders. And so now you're looking at
him to have more runway.
And so you're looking at home games. Because again, don't want to start him on the road. So you look week 10 against the Rams, maybe. Week 7 against the Broncos, certainly possible. And then week 5 against Detroit. And if they start the year 0-4 and it looks just downright awful with Jacoby Brissett under center, you're going to have to make a change. You got an offensive-minded head coach. He's got to do something. You got to do something. And you're going to have some fans saying, what if we just took a shot?
100%.
So week 5 against Detroit.
It's the place that makes the most sense.
I think that's where he starts. I still think he should start week 1, but
I just don't think he will.
I don't think he will either. Unless this holdout continues to drag on.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens on Monday. Monday will be our first little glimpse into how this is going to go. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also chat away with us, the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Got a lot of comments over there about this. Michael says that if they go 0-6, he starts week 7. That's against Denver. He says, we'll see how patient the new coach is real quick. I think that's an interesting storyline to all of this. And then coach says, if they end up paying Jacoby the starter money he wants, are they going to bench him after 6 games? It's a really fascinating angle to this. Because if they pay him, are they going to want to play him quite a bit? Possibly. But we'll see. Let's see if they actually come to terms on a deal. And let's see what that deal actually looks like. When we come back, it is our weekend winners. Who will succeed and win the weekend? We'll give you our predictions next. It's a lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RTO Sullivan, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RTO Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
A small commitment, at least 1 day a week, helps reduce ground level ozone pollution and helps us all breathe easier. Walk to lunch, skip the drive-thru and go inside. Commit to 1 day and help keep ozone away. Visit maricopa.gov/AQ to learn how you can help.
Hurt in a crash? Call the accident attorneys at Sweet James, 800-9 million. The system is rigged. Insurance companies protect themselves. Sweet James protects you. 2 billion won. 500 trials, 98% winning record. They put power and respect on your side. Pay no fees unless they win. 800-9 million. 800-900-0000. And sweetjames.com.
Just call Sweet James at 1-800-9 million. Just call Sweet James, your accident attorneys.
A night you don't want to miss. Avenged Sevenfold. Good Charlotte. North America Tour 2026. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. August 27th. Avenged Sevenfold. Good Charlotte. An epic night of music. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Don't miss Avenged Sevenfold and Good Charlotte, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
If you're a fan of any sport on the planet, college or pro, then we are right where you want to be.
Place to come when you want to have too much fun.
Real sports fans need a sports book powered by Hard Rock Bet. Follow the money line to Twin Arrows and too much fun.
Twin Arrows.
The best indoor tailgate party in Flagstaff with massive HD screens, cold drinks, game time food specials, and best service is at Arrow Sports Bar. After the game, get back in the game at craps, blackjack, and slots. Now that's too much fun.
The place to come when you want to have too much fun.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Megan's grandfather bought his first Ranger here. Her dad bought his first F-150 here. And she just drove off the lot in a new Ford Expedition for her family. 3 generations, all choosing Sanderson Ford. Visit Sanderson during their anniversary sale and see why. Right now, purchase any new Ford and get a $500 Circle K fuel card on Sanderson. We have your first 5 tanks covered. When you're in the market for a new vehicle, choose the dealership families have been trusting for over 70 years. Choose Sanderson Ford. Not valid on fleet or AXZ or D-Plan purchases. Offer expires 5/31/26.
Meineke always treats your car like it's their own. With over 50 years of experience, Meineke's certified technicians will diagnose and fix any issue with precision and care. Schedule an appointment at Meineke.com. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Does LeBron want to play another year, 2 years? How important is maybe going someplace to win another title? Going back to Cleveland, you bookend your career. The money aspect of it, the Lakers with Austin Reeves, it's Luka's team. How do you surround him? What do you surround him with? I thought LeBron did a pretty admirable job. In the playoffs, I thought he played pretty well. Now, there are times when he looks like he's 41, which is understandable. But he's not my lead dog.
Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m. on KTUS AM 1060.
KTUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert, producer Evan, hanging out with you today here on the show. It's Friday, which means we have to pick our weekend winners. Now, we've got the NASCAR All-Star Open. Do we want to pick a winner for that? I don't believe this is a race for points.
Oh.
It's kind of like this is their All-Star game.
Oh, this is the All-Star game.
Well, it's called the All-Star Open for a reason.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pick a winner.
So you are going to pick a winner?
Yeah.
Even though there's no points?
I still think I'll pick a winner.
Okay.
You?
Sure.
Would you like to start or you want me to go?
I just want to let me just do a quick little, I can talk through my process.
Okay.
Looking at the practice times right now. I see Kyle Larson up there at the top. He's been a trendy pick of mine. Kyle Busch up there, Ryan Blaney. Let me just make sure. NASCAR All-Star Race points. No points in this race? How does this work? Non-points exhibition. Oh, they're competing for $1 million.
Oh. Oh, man. All right, I got to pick.
$1 million for the winner. Okay, I would like to go. You can go first.
Give me Ryan Blaney.
I was going Ryan Blaney, who's 4th right now in practice.
Feel good about that pick.
Give me Kyle Larson.
That's
my
your
guy.
most picked weekend winner.
That's my guy. He's gonna back me up this week.
That is your most picked.
He's gonna put $1 million in his pocket, and despite not knowing who I am, he may throw a couple bucks my way.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. All right, you want to start?
I've got 4.
Okay.
I already mentioned him earlier.
Nolan Arenado.
I've got Nolan Arenado as a winner because I think it is a multi-home run weekend back at Coors Field for the former third baseman.
For me,
in Colorado.
My first one, keep it simple, stupid. I'm just going to take the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Now, we're defining that they have to win the series, right?
Yeah.
If they only win one game,
they're a weekend loser.
They're a weekend loser. Okay.
Yep.
So Diamondbacks win the series over the weekend against the Colorado Rockies. You're not ready for this one. You're not ready. I'm going to go over here. I'm just going to check because the last time I checked, he was doing pretty well. Let me just check in one more time. Okay. He's through 8 today.
Oh, no.
He's 2 under on the day.
Oh, no.
He's 3 under for the tournament. Give me Jason Day as my weekend winner.
I like that.
Now, I don't want to say he wins the tournament outright. Top 5 finish for Jason Day.
A top 5 finish. I think I'll give you a weekend winner for a top 5 finish for Jason Beck.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's very fair. Are you ready for my next one? I'm doubling down. Brooks Koepka.
So let me just check here. Brooks is 1 under through 6.
2 under.
He's 2 under
today.
overall. Oh,
Today.
Jason Day just dropped one at the 9th.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Now he's tied for 8th. Okay.
You are up, my friend.
Is it me?
Yes.
Give me the San Antonio Spurs.
Spurs.
To end the series tonight and set up an Oklahoma City San Antonio Spurs Western Conference Finals that will be pure cinema for probably 6 or 7 games.
Give me the Cavaliers.
Just to end it.
I think they end it.
Pistons are out. They're done. It's over with.
Well, even if they don't lose tonight, I still have a chance this weekend because I think Game 7 Sunday.
That's a good hedge by you. Well, that's what San Antonio is the same for me. If they lose tonight, I still got a chance.
Yeah.
So
it's a great hedge. I feel really good about that. Any more for you?
I have one more, yes.
Okay.
I have one more because there's a little event going on this weekend. It's a little MMA fight.
Oh.
Between Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano.
Ronda Rousey's fighting?
Give me Ronda Rousey as a weekend winner.
No way.
They both made weight today.
And who's Ronda Rousey fighting?
Gina Carano.
Give me Gina Carano.
So this will be on Netflix over the weekend. It is the first MMA event for Jake Paul's MVP, Most Valuable Promotions. It'll be at the Intuit Dome, and it'll be Rousey against Carano.
Wow.
Yep.
At the Intuit Dome.
At the Intuit Dome.
All right, my next weekend winner, give me the Montreal Canadiens. They looked overwhelming last night. I unfortunately think they move on and knock out the Buffalo Sabres.
Did you see the goal that Mitch Marner scored last night?
It is one of the coolest goals I have ever seen. Vegas, by the way, like last night in that series, it came down to experience. They were so confident in closing out that series. They had no problems getting through Dallas. Through Anaheim.
The way I feel about Oklahoma City, San Antonio, potentially in the Western Conference Finals, is how I feel about Vegas, Colorado in the Western Conference Finals of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah. And Vegas has been like kind of a weird team all year. The minute William Karlsson came back, they look so much better.
I mean, if the Sabres are able to come back and win, you would have all 4 1 seeds in the final. In the conference finals, I should say.
Wow, that's interesting.
Because you have the Avs and the Golden Knights. The Hurricanes are already in because they swept the Flyers. And then if the Sabres can come back from being down 3-2, they will.
Every division winner
will make the finals.
Interesting. I wonder if that's. I feel like that never happened.
By the way, Avs Golden Knights game 1 isn't until the 20th. 5 days from now.
I wonder if they'll move that up. Knowing the Knights won last night.
Well, if the Canadians win tomorrow, no, the conference finals both will start on May 20th, I think. Or the 21st.
Wow.
Because they'll have 5 days.
That's crazy.
So it'll be a couple days off before the.
How many days have the Avs had off? The Avs almost have 2 weeks.
Well, when was game? Yeah, May 13th. It'll be a full week since they've last played a game. That's
insane.
When the puck drops for game 1.
They'll have a full week. Carolina will have a full week. That's insane.
That is insane. Any more for you?
That is it for me.
Okay.
In recap, my weekend winners this week. The Diamondbacks, Brooks Koepka, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the other woman fighting Ronda Rousey.
Gina Carano.
Gina Carano.
Gina Carano.
And the Canadians.
I've got Nolan Arenado, multi-home run, Jason Day, top 5, Ronda Rousey, and the San Antonio Spurs.
Love it. We'll recap them on Monday.
It is one more till the weekend, one more till we hand things off to Jim Rome at the top of the hour. It is all the stories we didn't get to here today on the show. We call them the leftovers, and they are next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RTO Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RTO Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
Injured in a car wreck? Lawbear Auto Accident Attorneys will go full grizzly to protect your rights. Shut down the lowball insurance offers and recover every dollar you deserve. Hurry to lawbear.com. That's lawbear.com. The bear has your back.
When driving in Arizona, move over or slow down for any flashing lights. Move over for tow truck drivers, highway crews, and emergency responders. Move over for any vehicle with its hazards flashing. Because at 65 miles per hour, a vehicle travels over 95 feet in 1 second. 1 second that could change everything. When you move over for anyone, you're not just doing it for them, you're doing it for their families. Their lives are flashing before your eyes. Move over, Arizona. Every vehicle, every time. It's the law. Please visit moveoveraz.org. This message is brought to you by ADOT and this station.
I get by with a little help from my friends.
Ringo Starr and his all-star band. With friends, Steve Lukather from Toto. From Men at Work, Colin Hay. From Average White Band, Hamish Stewart. Friday, June 12th, 7:30 p.m., Gamage Auditorium. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Produced by Danny Zalesko Presents.
With a Global Credit Card, you earn reward points for every purchase. Use your rewards at checkout at many of your favorite stores. Or use points instead of cash when you shop online. You can even use them to book a flight up to 3 days in advance. New York, Vegas, Albuquerque. From groceries to getaways, redeem your way. Apply for your Global Credit Card now at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Try the turkey, bacon, and avocado at Port of Subs. Fresh, craveable, and loaded with flavor. Order now at portofsubs.com.
Slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Was Kevin Durant out because it is a 7-game series and we could afford to lose a game? Maybe. I was surprised to see him on the bench. Everyone was surprised. The odds makers were surprised. Who knew that the Houston Rockets without Durant can't find someone to make a bucket? You know, Sengun's a very good player, and in years past, he might have been the guy to try and carry the load, but it didn't look good at all for the Rockets without KD.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m.
Let's do it. Let's end the show on a good note. Let's get you into the weekend feeling good. It is all the stories we didn't get to here today on the show. We call them the leftovers. And producer Evan has them for us. I mean, I would start by putting your microphone on. That would be the place to start.
Yes. Yeah, that was bad.
And that's
how bad.
I saw you start to talk. And because the music was playing, I knew I could just sit in silence and we wouldn't set off the alarm.
That was bad.
Just to take you inside baseball, if there's silence detected, there's an alarm that goes off because that's usually a sign that something's not working. But if there's like our music underneath us playing,
it won't go off.
So I just wanted
there's something going on.
I wanted to see how long it would take you, but you're dealing with a bit of a migraine today. You're fighting through it.
Yeah.
You're playing through some pain. And so I don't want to leave you out there too much. So I let it go a little bit.
I appreciate that.
And then I stepped in.
We have a Friday triple header on Christmas as well as a Christmas Eve game. We did the Thanksgiving games. We talked about the international games. Would you like me to give you the Christmas Eve Christmas game?
Please.
It starts on Christmas Eve night, 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 local, or I don't know. Houston Texans.
I'm not sure. Just look it up. I don't know what time it is. Just look it up.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, it's after the time changes, so it's 2 hours.
Yes, so it's 6:15.
It'll be 6:15.
Texans at Eagles on Prime Video.
Okay. I don't. That's a 5 out of 10 matchup.
Why? Two great defenses.
Yeah, but also two quarterbacks that could really stink it up.
You might not get many points.
No.
On Friday.
It's so funny. I need to, CJ Stroud, the last image we have of him is just really not good.
No.
But I need to see it again.
The whole year was bad.
Well, but just in particular.
The last one.
The last game, what was it, 4 interceptions against the Patriots?
The last 2 games were just historically bad.
So I got to see it again from CJ, please. 5 out of 10 matchup.
On Christmas.
Okay, 2 games, right?
3 games.
3 games. Netflix.
All of which good. It starts on Netflix at 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. local time. The Green Bay Packers travel to Chicago to take on the Bears.
Yeah, 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
At 4:30, also on Netflix, Buffalo travels to play Denver. In Denver.
Little rematch.
And what was a great game last year?
What was a great game in the AFC playoffs last year? Game ended with a little controversy, if I remember correctly, right?
The interception, not interception talk, yes.
Yeah, did the ball, who had possession on the way down?
Correct.
I'll go 6.75 out of 10 on that matchup.
Okay. And then the late game on Fox.
Here we go.
The Los Angeles Rams.
There we go.
Travel to Seattle to take on the Seattle Seahawks.
And 9.5 out of 10.
All 3 Christmas Day games are rematches of the playoffs last year.
I love that.
Interesting.
I love that.
So we got some good games to look forward to. Very excited for that. We got 2 games in the NBA tonight. Both game 6s. It'll start 4 p.m. on Prime Video. Pistons at Cavs. And then at 6:30, it's Spurs at Timberwolves. The Spurs 5.5-point favorites on the road. Cleveland 4.5-point favorites at home time.
I like San Antonio to close it out against Minnesota. And because I like fun, give me Detroit to force a Game 7.
Detroit to force Game 7. I like that. We'll give you a leaderboard update here looking at the PGA
I saw
Tour.
some of these names. Just be careful. I don't know if I trust you with some of these names at the top.
Aldridge?
I would just stay there. I wouldn't try to pronounce his last name because you said it yesterday and I don't think you got it right. And we should really try to strive to get names correctly. So
Yes.
he's at 5 under.
Aldridge is at 5 under. He's 2 under today through 12. Alex Smalley at 4 under. He's alone in second. Chris Gotterup at 3 under. He is tied with Hideki Matsuyama, Minwoo Lee, Steven Yeager, Cameron Young. Then leads the 2 under crew, tied for 7th. It's Cam Young, Justin Thomas, Scotty Scheffler, Jason Day, Shahid Thagala. Yeah, we got a bunch of people at 2 under. I'm not going to give you every name.
The cut right now looks like it's going to be 3 over.
Yeah, some of the guys that notable are close
to the cut. I see Shane Lowry at 4.
Yeah,
He's
Hobart,
done.
Justin Rose, who unfortunately I picked, is at 3. So you got some notable names down there.
Rory's at 2 over.
Rory is at 2 under.
But he's 2 under through 6, so he's
Tommy
playing better
Fleetwood
today.
has to really – he's done, actually. Tommy Fleetwood is done. He's 5 over. He won't make the cut. So Tommy Fleetwood will go home and not play this week.
Hey, Bryson DeChambeau's still playing.
Yes.
He's 3 over through 7. He's at 9 over for the tournament.
He is. But he's got to get that right.
Still got time. Yeah, Tommy Fleetwood, he's done at 5 over. So there's a lot of guys are already done. And Wyndham Clark's at 2 over. He's got to try to hold on.
Bryson DeChambeau, he's got to fix that because he's got a huge scramble match against Bob Does Sports next week.
Does he really? Will YouTube golf action? Oh, I listen. It wouldn't surprise me if he was on Bob Does Sports next week.
No, he probably is. I think that's part of the issue.
Yeah, I think we may, but
we're Bob Does Sports fans.
We are, but how many people listening know who that is?
Probably nobody.
That was kind of a deep cut by us, unless you're into the YouTube internet golf game like we are.
Well, we say that they did just have LeBron on.
It's true. It's true.
And all those clips went huge. That was massive.
Well, because LeBron felt so relatable. Like these.
Yeah, for the first time, he felt really relatable.
These athletes that are so great. LeBron is one of the greatest of all times.
Correct.
It's hard to relate to that because, listen, I feel like I'm pretty good at this, but I don't think I'm the greatest at this. I'm just a regular dude who talks sports. LeBron is potentially one of the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball. And for him to go play golf and look like the way I look playing golf sometimes it was nice. It made him relatable in a way that I don't think he's ever been relatable before. And he was funny. He clearly is a fan. He did his homework. It was great.
He knew, he was asking them personal questions. Like he was clearly, it was good to see.
So Bryson could go do that. You know?
Exactly. He's a YouTube golfer these days. Michigan, did you see what they did today?
Yeah, it just makes me feel old.
Yeah, it does. They got Charles Woodson's son.
Junior. They got Charles Woodson Jr. Oh.
Are we old?
We're old. You're not there yet. You're still in your 20s. It still shouldn't feel real to you. But just wait. Just wait. Because for people a little bit older than me, seeing Fernando Tatis Jr. ages them. Okay? So it's going to happen to you.
He's years in the league.
It's going to happen to you at some point.
Arch Manning.
Arch,
by the way, I saw our mutual friend who's a big Arch guy.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure you guys spent hours talking about Arch.
We did. We have a plan for the Raiders.
See, I don't know why he cares because he's not going to get Arch.
No,
I don't know. You know what? I don't even want to hear what he had to say. No. Whatever convoluted nonsense he came up with about how the Raiders are going to pick first 2 years in a row.
Play Kirk all year.
No.
Pick first.
No.
And then take Arch, trade Mendoza to the Cardinals.
He's lost his mind. And he's a smart football guy. I respect his football opinions, but he's lost his mind.
Arch blinds him.
Yeah, he's blinded. The bias is real. That's going to do it for us here. Another week of shows in the books. Thanks for hanging out with us on the program. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Jim Rome, he's coming up next. Everybody, have a great rest of your Friday. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you on Monday.